Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of Loose Women, where the air is thick with anticipation and the panel is ready to dive into the heart of celebrity drama. Today, we're unpacking one of the most shocking moments in British television history, the infamous clash that saw Oscar-winning actor Gary Oldman unceremoniously kicked off the set after a blistering exchange with fiery panelist Denise Welch. Picture this: it's a crisp autumn morning in the ITV studios, the lights are blazing, the audience is buzzing, and Gary Oldman, fresh off promoting his latest gritty thriller, steps onto the Loose Women stage with that signature brooding intensity. Known for his transformative roles in films like Darkest Hour and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Gary is no stranger to high-stakes confrontations, but nothing could have prepared him for the verbal gauntlet thrown down by Denise, the outspoken matriarch of the panel. As the theme music fades and host Christine Lampard introduces him with effusive praise: "Gary, you absolute legend, tell us about your incredible journey." The conversation starts innocently enough. They chat about his craft, the challenges of embodying historical figures, and how fatherhood has softened the edges of his once turbulent life. The audience laps it up, chuckling at his dry wit and nodding along to his anecdotes from the set of Slow Horses. But beneath the surface, tensions simmer. Denise, ever the provocateur with her unfiltered takes on everything from politics to personal liberty, has been eyeing Gary with a mix of admiration and skepticism. She's long been vocal about the entertainment industry's hypocrisies, and Gary's storied past marked by divorces, battles with addiction, and a reputation for intensity has always intrigued her. As the segment progresses, the panel shifts to a discussion on celebrity accountability, sparked by recent scandals rocking Hollywood. Colleen Nolan chimes in about the importance of owning one's mistakes, while Brenda Edwards shares a heartfelt story of redemption. Gary, sipping his water with measured calm, agrees in principle but adds a nuanced layer: "Look, we've all got skeletons. The key is not letting them define you, but learning from them without apology." It's a measured response, laced with his philosophical bent, but Denise seizes it like a lioness spotting prey. Leaning forward, her eyes flashing with that trademark Welch fire, she retorts, "Learning without apology? Gary, darling, that's a luxury for men like you. Women in this industry have to grovel just to survive." The exchange ignites like dry tinder under a match, with Denise Welch launching into a passionate tirade that peels back the curtain on her deep-seated frustrations with male privilege and show business. "Gary, love, you've played Churchill, you've won the Academy Award, but let's not pretend the path was paved with gold for everyone," she declares, her Geordie accent sharpening each word like a blade. The panelists exchange glances and audience while his eyes widen in surprise, while Janet Street Porter smirks, sensing the drama unfolding. Gary, ever the method actor, maintains his composure, but there's a flicker in his eyes, a storm brewing behind that stoic facade. He responds thoughtfully, drawing from his own vulnerabilities: "Denise, I've been broke, I've been broken." Addiction doesn't discriminate by gender, it devours indiscriminately. It's a raw admission, one that momentarily softens the room, eliciting murmurs of empathy from the audience. But Denise, undeterred and fueled by years of navigating a male-dominated industry, presses on. She recounts her own battle, from battling depression in the public eye to fighting for roles that didn't typecast her as the feisty one. "You men get to reinvent yourselves with every comeback story," she snaps, "while we women are expected to smile through the scars." The studio audience, a mix of loyal Loose Women fans and curious passers-by, hangs on every syllable, some nodding vigorously in solidarity, others whispering in shock at the unscripted venom. Christine Lampard, the consummate host, attempts to mediate with her trademark diplomacy. "This is why we love these conversations, if they get real, don't they?" But the die is cast. Gary, feeling the heat turn personal, shifts in his seat, his voice dropping to that gravelly timbre that made him famous. "Apologies aren't luxuries, Denise, they're necessities. I've made them publicly, painfully, but forgiveness, that's earned, not demanded." The words land like a thunderclap, and for a split second, silence reigns supreme. As the debate reaches fever pitch, the air in the studio crackles with unspoken histories, each combatant dredging up anecdotes that humanize their stances in equal measure. Denise Welch, drawing from her soap opera roots on Coronation Street and Waterloo Road, paints a vivid picture of the grind. "I clawed my way through auditions where directors saw me as trouble for speaking my mind. Gary, you're the brooding genius." Her words sting, laced with the authenticity of someone who's stared down cancellation and come out swinging. Gary, not one to be outrated, leans into his narrative, recounting the abyss of his alcohol-fueled years. "I lost everything, a family, career before clawing back." It's not genius, it's grit, the kind that doesn't come with a gender badge. The panel, now fully engaged, becomes a chorus of voices: Gloria Hunniford recalling her own broadcasting battles, Jane Moore injecting sharp political analogies. The audience, a sea of nodding heads and clasped hands, senses the shift from debate to confession, phones forgotten in laps as they absorb the unscripted therapy session unfolding before them. Christine, sweat beading under her makeup, glances at the clock, 5 minutes over schedule, but calls no halt, knowing this goldmine of authenticity will boost ratings sky high. Social media ignites in real time. #Gary vs Denise trends within minutes, with fans dissecting every barb, memes proliferating like wildfire. Denise, escalating the personal stakes, touches on Gary's 2014 interview where he lamented the P.Y. state of modern actors, a quote that's haunted him since. "See, that's the casual misogyny we swim against daily," she accuses, her voice rising an octave. Gary winces visibly, the regret etching his features. "I owned that mistake, apologized profusely. It was a low moment, not my manifesto." But the damage is done. The room tilts toward confrontation. He counters by highlighting Denise's own controversial defenses, like her staunch support for Meghan Markle amid media storms. "You're a warrior for the underdog, Denise, but warriors need shields, not swords pointed inward." It's a clever pivot, but it only fans the flames. She retorts fiercely, "Shields? We build our own, while you lot get handed them on silver platters." The exchange devolves into rapid-fire volleys, words overlapping in a cacophony of passion and accusations of entitlement clashing with defenses of hard-won wisdom. The tipping point arrives with the subtlety of a sledgehammer, as Denise Welch delivers a barb so pointed it slices through the remaining veneer of politeness, leaving Gary Oldman visibly reeling. "Gary, your grit is admirable, but let's call it what it is: a white male privilege wrapped in a tragic backstory," she proclaims, her words echoing off the studio walls like a verdict. The audience inhales collectively, a wave of shock rippling through the rows. Some applaud Denise's boldness, others murmur in defense of Gary's evident sincerity. He pauses, that iconic jaw clenching as he processes the accusation, his response measured yet laced with steel. "Privilege? Try poverty in South London, Denise. Try rebuilding from rock bottom without a safety net." It's a defense rooted in his working-class origins, the coal miner's son who rose through sheer tenacity. But to Denise, it rings hollow against her own narrative of systemic barriers. The panel erupts, Kay Adams trying to broker peace with, "We're all products of our battles, aren't we?" But it's too late. Gary, his patience fraying like an old script, leans forward. "This isn't about gender, it's about humanity. Accuse me of flaws, fine, but not fabrication." Denise, sensing vulnerability, doubles down. "Humanity? Yours comes with asterisks. Love, mine?" It's the full stop at the end of every fight. The studio descends into chaos, voices overlapping in a symphony of interruption. The audience's applause now a confused cacophony. Christine Lampard, her smile strained, signals frantically to producers, but the cameras capture it all: the flushed cheeks, the gesturing hands, the raw emotion that transcends the screen. Offstage, the floor manager hovers, walkie-talkie crackling with urgent directives from above. Social media explodes further, clips circulating virally. "Gary Oldman just got welched" trends alongside debates on privilege's true face. Gary attempts one last olive branch, his voice softening. "Denise, I respect your fiery, it's what makes you you, but this feels like an ambush, not a conversation." She fires back unyieldingly. "Ambush? Welcome to every woman's daily, Gary. Adapt or exit." The word exit hangs heavy, prophetic in its delivery, as the argument circles into accusations of hypocrisy. Gary citing Denise's past Twitter storms, her defending them as truth-telling. Chaos reigns supreme as the fiery verbal joust spirals into uncharted territory, with Gary Oldman's composure cracking under the relentless barrage from Denise Welch, prompting the unthinkable intervention from production. "Denise, your passion is legend, but this borders on bullying," Gary retorts, his voice rising for the first time, the South London edge sharpening his vowels. The word bullying detonates like a grenade. The audience erupts in divided cheers and boos, the panelists freezing in stunned silence. Denise's eyes narrow, Her response a whip crack. Bullying? Try surviving auditions where you're dismissed for being too opinionated, Gary. That's the real arena. Christine Lampard, now pale beneath her foundation, waves her hands like a traffic warden. Okay, team, let's Brady adds in 30. But the host's plea drowns in the din, as Gary, gesturing emphatically, counters, I've survived worse than opinions: addiction, loss, reinvention. But this is theater of the absurd. The studio lights seem to dim under the weight of the confrontation, the audience a powder keg of empathy and outrage, some standing to applaud Gary's resilience, others chanting Denise's name in solidarity. Producers, faces grim in the booth, make the call, cut to break, escort him out. And now, the floor manager, clipboard in hand, approaches tentatively, but Gary, sensing the shift, turns to the camera with a wry smile. Ladies, it's been enlightening. Denise, not missing a beat, calls after him, run along then, if the heat's too much. Laughter punctuates the tension, but it's hollow, undercut by the dawning realization of escalation. As commercial break music swells prematurely, Gary is gently but firmly guided offset by two burly assistants, his protests muffled. This is ridiculous, let me finish. A while Denise slumps back, a mix of triumph and regret flickering across her face. The panel exchanges awkward glances, Nadia whispering, that went south fast, as the red light blinks off. Backstage, Gary paces a green room, agent on speed dial, venting about the ambush journalism disguised as chat. Meanwhile, Denise huddles with co-hosts, defending her stance. He needed hearing. Fame's echo chamber is deafening. The audience, ushered to intermission, buzzes with speculation. Did she just get him booted? A phone's ablaze with Lyft tweeting the meltdown. Social media erupts into a battlefield. Defenders of Gary decry woke witch hunt, while Denise's allies hail her as unfiltered queen. Clips flood TikTok and Instagram Reels, garnering millions of views and minutes. Analysts dissecting body language of the clenched fists, averted gaze as signs of deeper rifts.